Talking about the cost of living, what are the solutions, the immediate intervention measures, because that is what everybody is talking about now. And Alwale, I'll start with you on this. Where do we go from here now? Kenyans are saying we are suffering now. The reality is, the cost of fuel has gone up. What is being done? That is what everybody keeps asking wherever we go. Stop with all the blame games. What is being done?
We are in a bad place, not as a government or as a nation, but today the entire world is faced with economic recession. Many reasons, but the most challenging was the 2 years when the world stopped working, thanks to COVID-19. Yeah. So we have to go through this phase of economic recession. It has happened in history, and as we learn from history, the world always comes out of recession. Number two, it is not helping African countries that we were doing brisk business with Ukraine. So the war and conflict in Ukraine has affected us. Thirdly, we have got our own local problems, own regional problems, which we ought to fix. They include, for example, the way the handshake government handled public debt. And clearly, you have seen in President Ruto's plan, he's consistently managing public debt. To the extent that unlike the handshake government, which used to meet a recurrent expenditure using borrowing, we've managed to avoid borrowing to pay our salaries and other recurrent expenses. We are moving forward thanks to the forward-sightedness of President Ruto's government. We've been able to release all the money that is owed to county governments, and we are paying them every 15th of the month in the new financial year. We have released money to all people who did business with Constituency Development Fund, billions of shillings. It's been released, and we have been able to move the country during the very difficult times when people had gone to their farms to plant, give them cheaper fertilizer. Pamba harvest is now on the table. The food basket of Trans Nzoia now is starting to harvest this time, things are going to become better. But what is more important is that there is cabinet. I believe, just like we were in an economic recession during the time of President Mwai Kibaki, and President Mwai Kibaki introduced the economic stimulus, I'm confident that this is a strategy that the cabinet might opt to use to stimulate the economy, and things are going to be okay.
So an economic stimulus package.
It's an economic stimulus package.
Can we afford it at a time when the report by the Office of the Controller of Budget says that we are giving a whooping 83% of all revenues collected to debt repayment? This was yesterday.
And that
so where do you get this economic stimulus package?
That is a part for us on the back, because we are correcting a wrong that was seeing us deeper and deeper into the hole. We have to keep our heads above the waters, otherwise you can get confused. If you don't pay that debt, as they say, public debt enjoys the first charge on the consolidated fund. So if you don't do that, our country can default on those debts, and then we'll have gone even deeper into trouble. So we are moving well. I'm confident that it's going to happen. People should ignore these utterances that are making them so discouraged. The senator of Nairobi has said it correctly, that the rise in VAT has contributed to this problem. But let me remind him that economic issues are so complex. They rely on so many factors that it cannot be VAT alone. If it was VAT alone, the other countries like Tanzania, like Uganda, Rwanda, and even in Africa in general, where the petrol price is also high, they have not raised their VAT. by a similar mind. So it cannot be just the VAT alone. It is a multifactorial challenge which we have to meet with our eyes open and when we are sober.